So, for this week, I watched a 10-part series documentary called Making a Murderer. Um and I really wanted to speak about this or watch this one specifically because I did do a infographic in the beginning of the semester about innocent until you're proven guilty, like your right to remain silent. So I thought that it was pretty interesting to kind of follow up on that, especially in real life. Um, so just a little overview. There was Stephen Avery, who was wrongfully convicted for, I want to say, sexual assault. Anyways, after 18 years, he was exonerated because they found a DNA sample proving it was not him. Well, shortly after, and shortly as in 2 years after, of this exoneration, he was charged and convicted of murder of a girl named Teresa. So some things that really stood out in this film that I want to talk about is that the failure of the criminal justice system on different levels, and what we actually need to consider, even though the film didn't talk about it. So the first failure, I think, is the conflict of interest protocols. So Stephen, the wrongfully convicted, he was suing the police department. Yet officers of that same police department were allowed to participate in the investigation of the murder. So there was suspicious findings, like a magic key, other things, but basically one of the officers' footage of the investigation shows that there's a coercion involved, not a confession from a 16-year-old. I think it was a confession, but you really felt the manipulation that we were kind of talking about, or coercion that we were speaking about in class in this movie or this documentary. I think he was young. I think he was 16. So, again, I also talked about specifically juvenile rights in my final paper. And I think that this also goes to show that young people don't understand what is happening and what is going on and what's being said. So they're easily coerced, and it's not a fair justice system. But it's one of the other cases. But another one is, I guess, for lack of better terms, tunnel vision in police systems. So all the evidence, even the suspicious key, was all filtered through a lens just to prove Stephen's guilt of the murder, even though it may have not been him. Instead of finding the truth, because they basically wanted to prove it was him rather than proving it wasn't him. So the two defense attorneys, Dean and I can't remember the other one, walk through the blood evidence and custody issues that went through this entire thing. But it was so compelling that I question the integrity of the evidence. If I was a district attorney or a defense attorney, there's no way my client's guilty. Whatever. But overall, I think it was very frustrating, but also a great reminder that what I was talking about in the beginning of the semester is actually happening in real life, and it's not just, there's a topic to talk about or things to do. There's so much tunnel vision and misconduct and coercion going around in our justice system, and it needs to be fixed.